Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for December 3rd. Got a lot going on, especially looking into tomorrow's session. But first, we're going to take a look at the US-Japanese yen pair. I'm expecting this pair to move between 94.40 on the high side and on the lower side, 91.52. Now look for some resistance to come into this market around 93.84 and for some support to come in around 92.50. Now, as you can see, this market is moving sideways very quietly the past two sessions, most likely due to the rate decision coming up tomorrow with the euro and the pound. Everyone's kind of sitting on the sidelines to that. Now, looking at the Euro-USD pair, this pair I'm looking to move as high as 1.2837 and potentially as low as 1.2474. Now look for some resistance to come into this market around 127.66 and look for support around 126.43. Now this particular pair formed an inside bar today, if you noticed at the close of this session. So we are looking for potential breakouts of those, especially with the rate decision tomorrow. We could get a pretty large move. What I'm looking for this pair as far as a move up, if we get a break of this high, we're going to buy at 127.66. We should move fairly quick to this first resistance area, which would be, support area, previous support that's now resistance at 12800. Of course, we could see it move higher, up to this point and then up to this point, but we'll just have to wait and see for the market. If it hits our first target, that would be a profit of 34 pips. So a little quick profit there. Now on the downside, looking to sell short at 125.61. Our first exit would be at 125.26. That is a 35 pip move as well. I know these are quick moves in and out, but that's where the first targets are. So you can definitely, when it hits those areas, if you're not satisfied, you can go ahead and move your stop to break even, and hopefully it will run, especially with that rate decision. Now looking at the pound US dollar pair, this particular pair I'm expecting to move between 150.54 on the high side, on the lower side 144.79. Now this pair is moving within a range. It's getting close to previous support. I don't know if it'll hit it during this next session or not, but that's definitely something to take note of. Now let's switch over to the US Swiss. This particular pair, I'm looking for it to move as high as 122.57 and as low as 119.78. Look for some resistance to come in around 121.70 and some support to come in around 1.2000. This pair is moving sideways for the most part, consolidating down, and you can still draw your trend lines as we did the other day. That one got broke, so you can reset it here and then do one here. So we may be further out for a breakout than we were originally. But that about does it for that particular pair. Now we do have some other inside bars that I wanted to cover real quick. We have the Euro-Japanese yen pair that created a inside bar today, and looking for a break above the high on that one and a first target of 1590 for about 47 pips. Second target would be around 114.40. And now on the downside, look for a break below this low. Look for it to go to the, I'm sorry, I said that backwards. This is our target for our short, and our long, we're looking for it to, our buy order, we're looking to go from 1945 up to our first exit would be 120.48. which would be around 103 pips. Use a 1-to-1 risk to reward for these particular inside bar trades. Now we also have one for the Euro Australian dollar. This particular pair formed an inside bar, and we're looking for a buy order 1 pip above this session's high, and our first target would be at 2,010. And we are also looking for a short. That would be roughly, by the way, 212 pips. That's a pretty large move. But we're also looking on the downside, a little bit smaller move, shorten the market at 194.78 and looking for an exit of 193.86. That'd be a profit of 92 pips if that were to work out. Well, that about does it for the charts today. The Eurozone had their retail sales released during the session. It was worse than expected at negative 0.8% from an adjusted 0.0%. We also had the rate decision for the New Zealand dollar released, and it was as expected, moving down to 5%. Now looking ahead, we have the Swiss releasing their GDP figures for the third quarter. That's being released at 1:45 a.m. Consensus is that it has dropped from 0.4% down to 0.1%. Now year to date, they're looking at a drop as well from 2.3% down to 1.8%, which they're good, again, would not be good for the Swiss dollar, or the Swiss. The Swiss dollar. Looking ahead, though, the Eurozone has their GDP being released at 5 a.m. Consensus is that it has dropped from negative 0.2% and actually held, not dropped, held at negative 0.2%. Now, all that to say, I don't believe either one of those will move the market, especially with the pound rate decision being released at 7 a.m. And the consensus is they're going to move from 3% down to 2%. And the Eurozone has their rate decision at 7:45 a.m. The consensus on that is that they're going to drop rates from 3.25% down to 2.75%. Now the ECB president is going to have a press conference at 8:15, and the Fed chairman is going to speak on housing at 11:15 a.m. Tomorrow, and that's all Eastern times. Now remember, if the rate decisions are outside of what people are thinking, outside what the consensus is, you can definitely get the market moving, and moving very quick. So make sure to tune in and check those out. Well, until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.